Hi everyone, my name is Peter Cecile. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you top reasons why you should not do a PhD. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. Number one, if you are not ready to work independently and generate lots of ideas by yourself concerning research, then you should not do a PhD. So which means that on the flip side, one of the benefits that PhD does for you is that, or provides for you, is that you are able to work, independently. You are able to generate your own ideas, because sometimes your professor will not necessarily be the one telling you do this, do this, do that, do this, and pushing you around. You are going to come up with ideas and then discuss that with your supervisor for approval. So if you're not ready for that, you should not do a PhD. Number two, if you're not ready to supervise or mentor, master student and lots of undergraduate student, then you should not do a PhD, because as a PhD student, you're going to have the opportunity of mentoring, a lot of master students around in your lab, and then there might be some undergraduates that are doing maybe their fourth year or their fourth year project, and sometimes your supervisor can just tell you, hey, there is this student that wants to do an honors project. Just give this student a part of your project. So if you don't have, if you don't want to learn about that supervisory skills and that ability to work with somebody, generate the ideas and everything, because your professor will just probably give that person to you and say, hey, just guide this person. So if you're not willing to do that, then you should not do a PhD. So on the flip side, a PhD gives you the opportunity to learn a lot about supervisory skills and mentor lots of undergraduate students and master students and all of that. So for me, I have the opportunity of mentoring, undergraduate students. That are lots of master students in our lab, and that also provide me that opportunity to learn about managerial skills and all of those necessary skills. Number three, if you are not ready to expand your knowledge and dive deep into your research area and to work on novel things, then PhD is not for you. Because as a PhD student, like the project that I'm working on, there is a literature review, that will definitely help you to provide the basics for your research, but there are lots of new things that are going to be doing, right? Lots of new projects that they're going to be working on, because what really makes a PhD is the novelty of what you're doing, the contribution to knowledge. For a master's degree is fine, but at the PhD level, there has to be that big contribution to knowledge. That is what your external examiners, your committee members, that is going to be what they are looking for. So on the flip side, as a PhD student, you have that opportunity to dive deep and expand your knowledge base, build capacity in that research area, write novel and seminar papers in a particular research area that will be a reference point in years to come. Are you ready for the fourth one? Number four, if you're not ready to embrace challenges and rigidity and that toughness and tenacity, to that mental capacity to go through that rigor, then a PhD is not for you. As a PhD student myself, I've had that a lot of challenges, and just having that ability to go through those tough challenges, right? Those rigor is very tough and rigorous, because a lot is expected from you. So you have to do a lot of new things and presentations all around here and there. So if you're not ready for that rigidity, if you just want a low kill life, just get a master's degree and you should be fine. But if you are ready, if you really want to embrace those challenges and you really want to be able to work a lot under that, not really an intense environment, but an environment that really promotes getting results, then I think you should do a PhD. Actually, this video would have been titled why you should do a PhD, but it's actually the opposite is the case. Number five, if you are interested, or if you want, let's a very big stipend, then probably you shouldn't do a PhD, because as a PhD student, you're not going to be getting that $1 million stipend or that big stipend, But if something you can do is to probably supplement your income, with some other side hustles and stuff like that. I'm going to be talking about some that in later on. So the stipends you're getting, might be very little, So if you are thinking about making money right away from master's degree, then you don't have to necessarily do a PhD, because during that time, that 4 years, 3, 4, 5 years that you're spending doing the PhD, you might not necessarily be the most financially buoyant, but if you are considerate and you are able to work on your budgeting, you can apply for some scholarships that will really help to supplement your income, and that will really help you to balance the amount of money that you have. Are you ready for the next one? Number 6. Okay, we're almost getting there. Number 6. If you don't really want to learn, maybe you finish your master's and you think that all of the skills that you need, you've learned everything, then you don't necessarily have to do a PhD. If you don't want to learn some more, maybe some things about project management, then you don't have to do a PhD. And if you don't like writing, I would suggest not to do a PhD, because a PhD involves a lot of writing. In fact, majority of the time in your research program is basically going to be writing papers and writing grants, applying for scholarship and writing essays to apply for different kinds of scholarships. So if you're not ready to do that, then you shouldn't do a PhD. So if you are not ready to improve your writing skills, then you shouldn't do a PhD. And if you think that you don't want to learn some of those, more of those soft skills, project and design, and you don't want to learn things about things like more in advanced Excel skills, and using the PowerPoint and some of these soft skills that you could learn in addition to what you learned in your master's, then a PhD is not for you. So on the flip side, as a PhD student, you have that vast opportunity to expand your writing skills, learn a lot about writing, because you're going to be writing papers, publishing, and all of those things. So you improve your writing skills, and then you have a lot, because you are working on a lot of things at the same time. You're going to be learning a lot about project management. So if you don't want to do that, then a PhD might not be for you. Number 7. If you do not want a job that require a PhD, then you shouldn't do a PhD. Okay, so there are some jobs, if you read some job description, they will specifically say, someone with a PhD and 1 or 2 years experience, depends on the position that you're applying for. So if you just want that kind of position that even as a master's student you can apply for with certain number of years of experience, then you shouldn't do a PhD. So on the flip side, there are some specific high-paying jobs that require a PhD. So if you want those kinds of job, then you should do a PhD. So those are some of the things. And then I would say number 8, if you don't want to, improve that, diversity and expand your reach and your connections, you shouldn't do a PhD, because sometimes during PhD there's a lot of connections that you have to do with people from other university, people from the industry and different kinds of positions. So if you're not willing to do that, then don't do a PhD. And the most important thing of all, if you really don't want to go into academics, you don't want to become a professor, then you shouldn't do a PhD, because especially in the Western world, if you really want to become a professor, then PhD is non-negotiable. I was having a conversation with a professor the other day, and I asked her, when did you decide you wanted to become a professor? And she said right from her second year she wanted to become a professor. So in fact, doing PhD is going to be non-negotiable for her. So think about that. Do you want to go into academics? If you don't want to go into academics, then a PhD might not be for you. So I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to give you some insights and to decide if you really want to do a PhD, based on the position. I think I would really advise, first think about what kinds of position that you want to do, right? So based on those positions, you can begin to kind of check out those job descriptions and find out, do they actually need a PhD? And then the people that are in the environment or the kinds of job that they want to do they have a PhD? If they don't have a PhD, then there might be no need for you to do a PhD. But overall, PhD is a very valuable experience. You know, you learn a lot of things, you build skills, you build momentum, and you're able to advance your capacity, and then it might help your profile, depends on what you want to do in the future. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. I will see you in the next video. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing to my channel for new content, and then so that whenever new videos are released, you'll be the first person to get videos. Once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.